Dr. Yemi Omodele, if you are to rate our security for the year 2023, what mark would you give us so far?
Well, globally, security is of national interest or national issue. You see, Nigeria has its own security challenges. And the security challenges we have, I can say, is a carryover from past administrations. So the present administration is trying to fix certain part of our security, But be that as it may, with what happened in December 2023, I think is disheartening for innocent citizens of this country to have been killed by heartless human beings. So that area made me to say that our security is not yet salvaged. So I call on the federal government and the security agencies to ensure that lives and property are saved and secured in this country. If you mention Israel, all those countries, they also have their challenges. So Nigeria is not an exception. However, we should use what we have to get what we want. Our security agencies are there. They should assist us to ensure that we are secured and saved in this country, so that we will not be killed untimely. Then we will not be mourning every hour. So I just call on Mr. President and the chief security officers to live up to expectation, so that the promises made while being sworn in will be fulfilled. Nigerians will not regret their actions in supporting the present administration. So I can say that every government has a challenge. But this issue of security challenges in this country, you see, the government should affiliate with the traditional rulers, the baalies, the imams, the pastors, the evangelists, and the rest, and the local areas. These people are more closer to these people than we in the town. So closing with them, we ensure that our this type of human beings causing this problem will be exposed. They can easily be apprehended. So we shouldn't make it to be paper affair. Writing paper and come to the air to come and present it is good. But the implementation is the most important part of it. So if the government wants to be serious about it, kindly liaise with the traditional rulers in the local areas. The chiefs, the baalies, the kings, the pastors, the evangelists, the imam, the afa, the alaji, the alajas, so that all these atrocities perpetrated by these killers could be exposed. Then they could be apprehended, and then they can face the wrath of the law. I can say that in local areas, it will be very, very difficult for the traditional ruler or the baale or what they call youth leader to say that he doesn't know the people within that domain. It's difficult to say that. So the government should put into consideration affiliating, moving, associating with the people at the rural area, the traditional heads, the rulers, the kings, the obas. They should do that. They shouldn't think that the issue is the issue of presenting paper. You can present paper, but the implementation may be a difficult thing. But how will you be presenting a paper in respect of security architecture of Ikoro Ekiti in Abuja? And you want that paper to be implemented, the suggestions to be implemented in Ikoro Ekiti, when you have refused and neglected to carry along the head of Ikoro Ekiti community. It can't work. I'm saying this with due respect to the security chiefs, that those your papers you present in Abuja involve people in the local area to join you, carry them along. They will give you some insights. Information is very vital. You want to arrest a criminal, you are presenting paper in Aso Rock. What if your paper have to do with somebody in Ajase-Ipo in Kwara State? It can't work. It will not fly. So I call on the government to please swing into action in the area. Look at it, you see, and try it. Give it a try, it will work.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that. And now to Dr. Shola Meche. This year is a peculiar one because we had two administrations, the outgoing and then the present one. If you had to compare how the security situation in Nigeria was, that was during the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari and the present administration of Bola Tinubu, do you think there is a significant difference? Also keeping in mind that this administration, this new one, has just taken office in a few months.
Yes, if you ask me, I think there is a significant difference. The difference is like the barrister just talking about inheriting the security challenges from the previous administration. Yes, but be that as it may, the last lap of the last administration, they try as much as they could to reduce the security challenges we have in the country, which the present administration inherited. Because the issue of threat from Boko Haram and killing, attack, I think it reduced to some extent. So we say that with what we're experiencing now, because we all know that security cannot be completely eradicated, but it can be reduced. With what we're experiencing now, if the government really put their foot on the ground and, as he earlier said too, talking about more of intelligence gathering and involving the local communities, talking about the youth leaders and traditional rulers, I think we're going to get a meaningful and commendable results compared to what we've experienced in the past.
Okay, all right. And if we look at the security situation coming from last year, we had abundance of kidnapping for ransom. Also, that's still leaked into this year. We've had so much unknown gunmen attack. We've had farmer-elder clashes and something similar to that. Also, we also have the issue of internet fraudster too. That too is on the rise. So if we had to look at all of this, what recommendation, what tips would you give the federal government that they should try to do to make sure that this is reduced to the barest minimum, especially as we are going into the year 2024? And of course, a lot of people have their hopes, they have dreams, but unfortunately, for some of these people, some of their family members lost their lives in 2023, some due to kidnapping for ritual, some for ransom. Some people emptied all of their accounts and yet their relative was still killed. So what recommendation would you give?
It's, considering that, like you rightly said, we're still going to get back to the grassroots. That is the best option, if you ask me. You cannot stop insecurity in any nation, but you can reduce it. But you need more of intelligence gathering to achieve that. So if you're comparing last year, 2022, to this present 2023, which of course is terminating a few hours from now, I think the security agencies, they've tried, the government, they've tried to some extent compared to where we're coming from. Like before now, going out during the Xmas period and what have you, nobody ever want to step out. But from our records, this December or this Christmas period, it was not that bad compared to how it used to be. So for me, let's give them a chance and see what they intend doing. And I'm very sure they will be able or should be able to do better than what their predecessor did in the past. That's my opinion. And like that of the Niger Delta too, they've done so well there. Talking about vandalization, which of course is part of the crime we're talking about. Vandalization, youth restiveness has reduced drastically compared to what we used to experience. So, whether we like it or not, we should give them kudos for that. But that is not to say they'll relax or they should relax. They can do better than what they're doing now if they don't derail from it. Like I always say, if you handle security matter politically, you're going to have political results. So let the people who knows how to handle it and don't politicize anything concerning security. That's my advice.
All right, thank you so much for that. So if we are to look at different regions that we have in Nigeria, they all have peculiar security problems. So if we look at the southeastern part of Nigeria, well, fortunately, a lot of the southeastern governors try to put a stop to sit-at-home order in that part of Nigeria. So I want to ask Yemi Omodele this question. Some have opined that the reason that the sit-at-home order was continuing was because of the detained IPOB leader, that is Nnamdi Kanu. And it was just this month too that in court, it was as if they were not trying to let him go, they were not trying to grant him that freedom. Would you say that if perhaps he were released, then the relative peace will return to the southeastern parts of the country?
Well, I have a divergent view about that because I think before he was brought back to Nigeria, he was not within the soil of this country, yet still making some command, which his supporters and people were following. So taking it from that angle, I think it wouldn't have made a difference because the man has a target which he has been clamoring for. And those targets he was clamoring for, without achieving it, I think he will not maintain peace. However, you see, I look at it from one angle. When somebody in, let's say, in Ijebu, who is selling, who is a petty trader and some other things, and somebody in the community says, don't sell, don't buy, don't eat, within that area, the people in that area they will be suffering. So taking this to the eastern part of the country, where it is sit-at-home, that they are sit-at-home, it's like they are wish-hunting themselves. And it's like saying maybe they are intelligent, but in the other way around. When somebody who is in one place commanding you stay at home, so that stay at home will not solve any problem. It was adding more problem to their problems. So to me and my mind, I see nothing reasonable about it. Versus, you see, internationally, one can say you want to fight for so right, and one can say you want so thing to be done to by the government. There are procedures. You don't need to be confrontational, and you don't need to make the entire country to be turned into pandemonium before you get it. Government has listened here. There are mode of channelization of all these things that it would naturally come. But when you turn it to the other way around, that you want to pull down the government will not fold its arm. That was what happened in the last administration. Because if you look at the way things were going on then, the government was almost put into shame one way. And government was trying to ensure that such a thing didn't happen. That was what brought about it. However, the importance attached to human rights of every citizen of this country cannot be overemphasized. So, but when you talk of this human right and you talk of the entire populace, which one do you consider best? The interest of the entire populace overrides somebody's fundamental right, with due respect. It overrides it. So if that should be the case, then where are we? Now, it is an advice. They can channel their grievances through the necessary channel, and they will get what they want, if God says so. But a situation whereby you make your people to suffer at your instance, It's rather unfair, and it is inhuman. It is inhuman. Now, you see, the issue that is before the court, I will not go to that, because that one we say it is sub judice. I'm not interested in that area. Let the court decide that area. Now, court has spoken. The necessary will be done by the lawyers in charge. And those lawyers, they are qualified, they are competent, they are suitable, they know what to do. But when it comes to the affairs of the entire community, entire country, or particular region, one should not allow his own selfish interest to override the interest of the entire region. That is so no, it's not acceptable at all. So, but as a suggestion, allow the lawyers to do their work. Allow the community to breathe fresh air. Allow them to enjoy their life. People, if they enjoy their life, they are free, they are this, they know how to go about it, and they ensure that there is liberty. The liberty will come when there is peace, when there is tranquility. But when there is fire over fire and petrol on top of it, it may lead to war. And we don't pray for that in this country. Nigeria is a peace-loving country, and that peace is what we want. We don't want anything like sit-at-home. We don't want anything like don't cross the road. We don't want like a particular days dedicated for that. It's not fair. It is not in the interest of the nation. It is not in the interest of justice, and it's not in the interest of humanity. That is the way I look at it.
Okay, all right, thank you. And now to Dr. Shola Mise. If we look at the northern part of Nigeria and some of the insecurity plaguing them, there are no foreigners to bandits attack. And some people have said that some of these bandits that are attacking these villages or these communities, that some of them are not Nigerians, but rather they came from neighboring countries. That is the ones that got access to Nigeria through the border. Do you think that that is entirely the case, or we really need to tighten our border security so that everyone that is entering the country would be well accounted for?
Yes, before I go straight to that, before I answer that question, I just want to respond to what my friend talked about. He just said something that's very interesting. He talked about they should allow the lawyers to do their work. Very interesting. Also, the lawyers should allow the military and security agencies to do their work. Because most of these things, when you grab this or apprehend these bandits, terrorists, and what have you, the first thing they will do, lawyers will come from nowhere without.
Oh, it seems the network is not to our side at this time. So as we wait for his network to be rectified, I would like to direct that question, because he was saying something about lawyers still letting the security agencies do their work. Do you in any way feel that these legal practitioners in some way hinder the work of security personnel in carrying out investigation to deal with some cases of insecurity in the country?
And I will not subscribe to that. You see, when a lawyer is contracted for a job, there are procedures the lawyer follows to ensure that either he sees his client and know what is happening. Having done that one, the lawyer takes some steps to ensure that justice is done and that the fundamental right will not be infringed. But to say that lawyers hinder or stall investigation, I think that may not be too correct. Because you see, the security agencies themselves, are they sincere? Before you blame lawyer, you blame the security agencies themselves. Now, I think I wrote a paper on this issue of a land border in Nigeria and the big brother role of Nigeria in Africa. You see, our border is somehow porous. And the porosity came from immigration and Nigeria Customs Service. They are the one there. They are the one that will allow you to come in, to come in. They are the one that will allow trailers to come in at midnight, bringing in dangerous weapons to this country. The custom, the immigration, their hands are not clean. And they fall on the arm of the security agents. So what are we talking about? If taxpayers' money could be used to pay the salaries of the law enforcement agents, and they are the one that will expose us to risk in our border, in our land border, in the air border, in the what do they call it, in the wharf, and all those things. What are we talking about? Go to Tinkanala, you see custom there, you see immigration there. They are there 24 hours. Now, at the end of the day, some trailer or trucks will be apprehended somewhere in Benin from Tinkanala going to the east. The clearly done was not done without the involvement of the law enforcement agents. Are they saying that they were not aware? Was it done magically? No, the answer is no. So then, when you talk of Owode border, you talk of the one in very close to Maiduguri, then you talk of the one in Cameroon towards the eastern part of the country, you talk of the one very close to Kwara State and Oyo State somewhere here. Now, the custom officers, the immigration officers, they are there. It is their duty. But because of their selfish interest, and because of the fact that they don't have at heart the progress of Nigeria, they allow all these things to come in. And because these things were coming in, and the federal government has no means of controlling, that was what the issue of a land border closure came in, to survey the country from all these neighboring countries' embarrassment. Now, if that should be the case, who was at the border? The land border, the air one. They are the custom and the immigration. They were not lawyers. So the lawyer's job is outside the land border, outside the air border. Now, how do we now say that the lawyers are the one? No. I take an exception that lawyers, they do their work in line with the ethics and the constitutional provision. That's what they do. If it's possible, you can call a lawyer to come for a case or blah blah for intervention. He gets there, they say the lawyer, I don't want you again. The lawyer carries his bag and goes away. That is it. The fact remains that the issues that do happen in court cannot be married together with the investigative aspect of it. What lawyers do in court is different from what police or the law enforcement investigates. So they must have concluded their investigation. Then the lawyer will not look at what you have brought before the court to defend his or her client. That is it. So with due respect, sir, blame should not be placed on any lawyer or anything. Blah, 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 blah. I am not saying that there are no one or two errors here and there, but that a lawyer doesn't start any investigation now. Okay. That doesn't do it. And the court does not even do that. There are a lot of Supreme Court judgments that says that no one can tar law enforcement agencies from carrying out their statutory functions. Then what more?
Okay, all right, Dr. Shola Miche, how do you respond to that? Because Dr. Yemi Omodele here is keen on saying that the legal practitioners, in any way, they do not interfere with the workings of law enforcement agencies.
Yes, talking about terrorism, somebody carrying arms against the government, and you call that not just against the government, but against innocent citizens as a terrorist. Are you not telling us that those innocent citizens they are not entitled to their human rights? So if you're talking about human rights, but let's not go there, because if you're talking about human rights, every citizen is entitled to human rights. But a situation where one carry arms or deprive other citizens of their rights, and you come out to say no, this is genocide, this is that. Somebody that has been confirmed as a terrorist, or group, not even call somebody this time, group that has been confirmed as a terrorist. But that is for another day. The issue of border, you see, security is everybody's business. So we need more of intelligence gathering. Those customs, immigration, security and civil defense that are assigned to the border, they cannot do the job alone. How many information as the community, because anywhere you send them to, they have communities there. How many information as the community be able to give to them? There are ways they will chase these so-called people, smugglers,
you chase them to some extent, and you open fire because they are harmed, and mistakenly hit one of a citizen, innocent person or a community person. At the end of the day, you sue the military agency for either killing an innocent person, not intentional, forgetting that it's not just trying to kill somebody, but trying to prevent somebody that want to cause harm to the nation, not just to a particular person. So what I'm trying to say in essence is, look, we should try and work in synergy by knowing what exactly these people are hard for, that is the security agents. They are not hard to destroy people. They are hard to give peace. If you know police, for instance, are not good, when you have any challenge, don't call them. If you know security agencies are not good, are corrupt, when you have issues to when you attack, don't call them. But that is their calling. So I am still saying, I'm not blaming the lawyers. Like, he can speak for himself. He cannot speak for others. There are some that he knows very well that, no, they are not doing what they are supposed to do or what they are expected to do. But be that as it may, we still need to work in synergy with, most especially, the communities. The communities is very important for us to have more of the information, intelligence gathering to achieve whatever thing these military people need to achieve. Because they are not magicians, they are not angels. They work on information. And who are who? You can see a situation where they will tell you that, look, in this area, even handsmen, you'll be surprised that robbers and what have you keep their arms in the church, keep their arms in the mosque. Some people keep their arms in places that you cannot even believe that such thing will be there. Some even go to the courts to hide their arms. How do you expect the judge or whoever that is in charge of that court to know that they actually hide arms there? It's not possible. It's all about intelligence gathering. So let's not shift blame on who is who. How do we achieve the expected result? The only way to achieve the expected result is to see how we can create more synergy among all, not just the agencies, including both the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. They must work as one for us to achieve whatever thing we need to achieve or we intend to achieve. That is my own opinion about it.
Very quickly, before we move on to the other part of today's program, what role do you think education and unemployment, what role do they play in maybe aggravating or reducing the type of security incidents we have in Nigeria?
Education is different from enlightenment. You can be educated with due respect and be stupid and doesn't even have sense. You can be, so education is not power, it's not, yardstick for that. So employment, fine, because they say the hydro mine is the devil's workshop. There is nobody. You create employment today, even if you just barbing for most of these youth. Nobody that you barb at least 10 head, that is barb 10 persons a day. You'll be tired when they call you in the evening, come, let's go and rob. You say, oh boy, I don't tire, I don't feel good today because I just finished barbing about 10 persons head. Or wash 10 cars, you'll be tired. So what am I trying to say in essence? If we engage them in any way, it will reduce the number of criminals or bad boys, as they call them, we have in our society. So education is not 100% a guarantee. In fact, most of we're talking about internet crime. Illiteracy is on the internet crime now. It's educated people. So it's not a priority that, look, once you educate everybody, that just have that level of education, you can speak, read, and write, and communicate well. Why not? Go to China. How many educated people do you have in China? So for crying out loud, it is not a priority. More of sensitization, employment, and engaging them 24/7. At least it will reduce it. But if you think of education, even our children now, this is just the grace of God. They keep telling that education is calm. But we know that whether you like it or not, because if you are not educated today, you'll be able to do the job of presenter. We need it. Because if everybody is uneducated, they will become something else. But to some extent, the first thing, give them that first level of education. After that, why not? Let's go more on employment, engaging them steady. It will reduce and make them focus more on what they want to become. That's my advice.
Right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your views with us on the program. We truly appreciate it. Many thanks for being on Firecrackers on the last day of 2023. Wishing you a wonderful year ahead. Thank you so much.
Same. I wish you all the best.
All right, and that was Dr. Shola Mishe. He joined us live from Delta State. He's a security expert. And before we leave that topic, Dr. Modele,
Yes, sir.
for rounding up, what role would you say that education and unemployment play in addressing our security challenges in Nigeria? Or do you also subscribe to the fact that education might not play so much of a role as unemployment?
No, I will not subscribe. You see, what happens is that if government provides enough employment opportunities, the investors come around, the rich ones, they also create job opportunities, the private sector creates job opportunities, and the young graduates, they are able to be employed working. That working or such work will keep them busy, and they will not be able to think about negative side of the society, which may lead them to committing crimes. So provision of employment opportunity will, one way or the other, reduce criminality, with due respect. Then on the side of education, you see, the educated ones, the graduates, that find themselves in the realm of criminality is as a result of lack of job opportunities for them. Nothing to engage them. That is why some of them find themselves in such avenue. So if the graduates, maybe after the so-called NYC, there is a work or there are work to be done, be employed, such a person will not be able to think negatively. Criminality will not come to his mind. So that was the area is resolved. Then aside from that, you see, I say suggestion to the persons in charge of curriculum of the schools, from maybe nursery school to KG1, KG2, and all the KG like that, to university and to probably postgraduates. They should include security as one of the courses and should be made compulsory courses to be done from maybe probably nursery school up to postgraduate. Because you see, if a person is taught the pros and cons of involvement in one act, it will be at the back of such person's mind that this is what I was taught. If I do this, this will be the adversary. If I do this, because you see, some of these young bloods finding themselves in this criminal sphere, they don't know the implications of what they are doing.
Or they don't just care.
No, some of them don't know. You see, when you keep bad company, definitely you behave badly. That is it. In Yoruba, they say, "Agunto to bajani." Oh my God! When you keep bad company, you behave badly. That is the meaning. So, but if he or she has been taught, maybe at the secondary school level, or at the first year in university, or second year, or penultimate semester to graduation, that if you do this, this is what it will be at the back of their mind. So the level of involvement will be reduced. Because to those of us who are practicing lawyers and we handle such cases, when we interview some of these clients, we know what they always tell us. And when they tell us, we know our responses. They needed to be exposed to the pros and cons of involvement in criminality. And that can only be done through education. by introducing it to the curriculum, so that these people will know what they are doing. They will know if I do this one, if I do that. You see, not everybody reads law. Not everybody. Somebody who read probably linguistics now, or French, and in the university, he does what we call general studies. Citizenship, yes, he does it. That citizenship does not totally expose him or her to the advantage and disadvantages of involvement in criminality. But probably when you do a course that has to do with criminal law, and then linking it to security aspect of it, then the lecturer would have exposed section. There's a section called Section 419, receiving money under false pretense. This is the offense. Upon being charged to court and successful proof of the charge, you face so imprisonment, or you pay the money, or you restitution. You return the money to the person who you must have duped, and you will still serve so number. I think such a thing will create fear in such person's mind. So there is need to introduce that into our curriculum in all levels, not only university, because some persons, they may not have money to go to university. Some may end up in technical college, some may end up in college of education, some may even end up in primary school. So you should start from nursery school to KG 1, 2, 3, and how do KGs up to postgraduate level, so that people will be enlightened. Because you see, there is a principle in law that says ignorance of the law is not an excuse. But it's not an excuse when you have had a pre-knowledge of it.
What would you give that the government do now, especially for people who have no contact at all with education? What should be done?
You see, you see, that is the issue. The government should place priority on educational aspect. People should be educated. There should be, where convenient, there should be free education for all to a certain level. It should be done. So that if somebody attends up to secondary school, he has level of education. If he stops at GSS 3 or what do you call it, he has had some level of education. But not to go at all. It's dangerous for this country. It's dangerous. So let the government try and see a way that at least everybody goes to school. Then you'll be able to know one of the things. Then I say with all due respect that persons charged to court, let me tell you, persons charged to court, under our law as presently constituted today, they are presumed innocent. Either the charge is 400 count charge, is immaterial. He is still presumed what? To be innocent until the judge says final. So you don't just look at those aggravated charges, duplicity. Then you look at it, say he has committed 600 of which offense. By the time lawyers will handle it, that 600 may turn to 3 counts, and at the end the 3 may still fail because of what? Because of the lackadaisical attitude of the security agency, the investigators. They don't usually put their hands in order because of their own atrocities. Those security agents, their hands are not clean at all. They are very, very fraudulent and insincere. The security agencies are the problems, causing problems for Nigerians. They will see the truth, they will use hand to cover it and turn black to white. Then when you get to, you want the judge to do magic? The judge cannot do magic. He works based on what to bring before the judge. Then you want the lawyer to keep quiet? Lawyer works with law. Lawyer doesn't work with Gary and Ekpa. They work with what the law says. And it is the lawyer to defend his client to the best of his knowledge and ability, in line with what? In line with the law.
But would you not still see that as interrupting then? Since the lawyers too themselves might be trying to cover up...
No. There is a law. There is a law. It is what is in that law the lawyer is following. The lawyer is not an investigator now. The judge is not an investigator. It's the paper you bring. If you look at it, you give evidence. The judge is listening. After narrating your story, you are cross-examined. You that say you saw somebody stealing something. At the end of the day, say, no, I was at Ikodo market. That is contradiction. Do you want the judge to believe such a terrible witness? Somebody say, I saw him doing this thing. All of a sudden, they ask him a question. As at that day, your son was doing a birthday party at Ikodo. And he say, yes, I was there. Well, I left the analysis field. And when the robbery took place around 2 p.m., that such a witness is a confused witness. Definitely, the court cannot believe such a witness, and the lawyer must do his work. So, lawyers do not survive justice at all. We are ministers in the temple of justice. We are to aid to ensure that justice is done. That is all.
Okay, but if we look at cases where an average person believes that if he commits any crime,
Yes.
any security blunder that
Yes.
endangers the life of a lot of people,
Yes.
but knowing the right person in the right sector could absorb him of all faults completely, do you not feel like that's a bad example for others who believe that I could commit any crime I want,
No.
as long as
It's
I
as
know
a, no, sir,
someone,
no, sir.
then
It's as a result of the ineptitudeness of the investigator and the law enforcement agent. Let me tell you, there are some cases we handle, and there's what they call proof of evidence. When we read it, we interview. When we interview the client, we say, this case is not a too good case. It's not a too fair case, but we will try. In most cases, we advise, because we know that issues are becoming glaring. There are times when the witness enters box and you cross-examine, Mr. A, he gives answer. The lawyer will be shocked and will say, my lord, that will be all for the witness. The reason is that he's getting some truth. Then you see the advice the lawyer will read. Lawyers don't work like a chameleon. We don't work like that. So now, having got the truth, the lawyer will give the best professional. And let me tell you, there are some lawyers when they give professional advice and the client doesn't want to follow, they withdraw. There are many lawyers like that. They withdraw from such case to salvage their names and integrity.
Okay.
So it's not that maybe you say this one, then lawyer, which lawyer? No lawyer is a cover-up lawyer.
Okay, before we go, because we are quickly running out of time, let us look at this thing that happened in the past administration. That
Yes.
is rehabilitating convicted criminals, terrorists,
Yeah.
and then introducing them back into the society.
Yeah.
And then there are cases that these people still go back to their old ways of life.
Yeah.
So for going into 2024, would you advise that that should still take place, or whoever is caught in these acts, they should be punished, not rehabilitate them and reintroduce them back into society, causing further problem for the people?
Concerning what is, I think I'm aware of advisory committee. They advise the government on that. That is the work of the advisory committee. They should look at the records, see what happened for those ones that benefited for such mercy. Having looked at it and look at the percentage, then they will be able to provide advice to the government, because they call it advisory committee. So if it's advisory committee, they have to look at it and advise the government. However, you see, with due respect, sir, once somebody is tagged to be a criminal, it's difficult for them to change. I'm sorry to use that language. It's very difficult for them to change. Because that thing is like, from experience, it's like a spirit.
Like addiction?
It's like it. Because if you say this, they will keep to. After a while, they change. I took time to carry out studies in respect of that area, and I know the experience I got there. So now, having gotten those experiences, I discovered that it's a spirit which can only be taken away via advice and proper counseling. The government should also initiate counseling committee apart from advisory. So when they have counseling committee, the counseling committee will also be counseling them in the confinement, while the advisory committee will also advise where necessary.
All right, thank you so much for that, because we've run out of time. Many thanks for sharing your views with us.
So thank you.